Hi everyone, this one is short. This is a normal EEG with artifacts. This exam here has important artifacts that can interfere with the exam. We have a disconnected F3 and a disconnected P3. This is not a salt bridge because we are working with F3 and P3 and also A1. And the problem is not linked to A1 either, because the other electrodes where A1 is connected, they are normal. So this here is a little problem with F3 and P3. Anyway, I decided to put this exam here because it's very interesting. You can see that the patient's awake. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 hertz approximately. It's her posterior dominant rhythm. Suddenly the EEG slows down. It synchronizes here. And right after, the tracing changes. Did she blink? No, we don't have any blinking artifact here before. So what we have here? We have a period of drowsiness. So this is a synchronization of drowsiness. You notice that her alpha is not fast, but it has a considerable amplitude. And when this alpha mixes with this synchronization of this hypersynchronization, you have a spike wave aspect. So a spike wave aspect starts to appear here, but in fact it's just a mixture. We have a mixture of alpha rhythm and slow rhythms. So interesting. You have a drowsiness, hypersynchrony, and an alpha rhythm together. You can also call it a fragmentation. And what starts to appear? It resembles a spike wave. The patient has some spasms in her complaint. Only spasms are described. But you see that there are episodes in which, in EEG, in which she awakes and she sleeps. So there is not an eye artifact here to indicate that she opened the eyes. And it's really drowsiness. And suddenly this event here that caught the attention of the colleague that sent me the EEG, it really calls us to look. This worries us. But note that if this wave over here is a spike wave, if this over here is an epileptic spike, so this spike over here is also an epileptic spike, and this one also an epileptic spike, and this one also. Okay? And that's not the case. What happens is that we have a fragmentation here again. There was a fusion of waves, and you have an increase in the power of the spectrum. So this increase in power also pushes this alpha further forward, higher. It increases the amplitude of the alpha as well. Then you return to the normal alpha rhythm, and then the person becomes drowsy. Periods of drowsiness are more likely to present sharp waves, it's true, which is why these normal findings confused us. Here is an increase in spike wave activity in somnolence. There is, an increase of spike activity in somnolence. But if you look at this article here, this article is very important. If you see that there are some characteristics in the spikes waves, there is an asymmetry of epileptic spikes. If this over here is an epileptic spikes, we have a steeper rise and a less steep fall. It's asymmetric. Something we don't see. Let's go back. We don't see here. You see? Okay. Both the rise and the fall, they are symmetrical. And this this type wave. So this here is an sleep activity, and it is an alpha activity that, let's say, captured a little more power resulting from the sleep activity. But it's the same rhythm that you see, you are seeing here. See? After this, let's say, fake spike wave, what happens? We have a return of the normal base activity right after. As soon as this sleep activity here ends, we return to the normal base activity. You don't have any disruption of background activity, right? We don't lose synchrony. After the event, we don't have any loss of synchrony of the later rhythms. And then comes drowsiness and see artifacts. Although here there is an eye movement, she was sleeping, she woke again. There was an hypersynchrony. This girl's tracing is more spiky. It's more pointed tracing, let's say, right? Let's put this way. So even with these artifacts here, I decided to show you that exam, that record, because we have this period of transition from sleep to wakefulness that resembles a pathological event. You have this mixed activity, let's say fast and slow activity, which leads us to believe that's a pathological event, but it's not. I appreciate your participation. See you next time.